Welcome to Curiousaholic. My name is Heiko. I'm here with my good buddy Evan.
Hello, Earthlings.
So, before we get into today's topic, here's a quick rundown of how the podcast works. So, in each episode, one of us comes up with an interesting topic that they are curious about and reveals it live to the other person in the hopes to spark a deep discussion and further our knowledge about the world around us.
So, you ready?
Always ready.
I should be ready.
You should be ready because this is going to be a roller coaster of topic.
I figured with that intro, it sounded so eerie.
Yeah. It's like a creepy vibe, man.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? What's happening here?
That's why I use my other voice to greet the audience.
Sounded like an alien.
Yeah.
Okay, well, alrighty. So, as usual, a question for you before
All right,
we get
let's
into
hear
the
it.
topic. So, imagine this sort of situation, right? So, you have this, wealthy, CEO type of person from out east or something, from Asia, big man, comes up and proposes you a job, okay? You just come to one of his, marketing events with a lot of other potential buyers, and you just stand there. Just, next to him, kind of just to give off a certain look, so people look at him and look at you, and he pays you for that. You have to do nothing. You don't even need to speak,
You just have to look pretty.
You just gotta look pretty and just stand there and, do it, and he'll pay you a few $100s. Would you be down to do it?
So is this like a body image thing?
Whatever, however you want to see it, but would you be down to do it? Would you feel okay?
Depends the type of money.
150, 200 for an afternoon or evening, something like that.
$150?
Yeah.
Not enough.
No, not enough. Okay, so the money is the issue here.
I think so.
Really? Okay, so if it was a bit more, then you'd be down?
If it's
they're a bunch of let's say Asian people, right? You're the only, white person there, and you don't need to speak the language or whatever. You're just there to look.
I see the difference now. Okay, sorry, I didn't understand that. I was one among others kind of thing.
Well, in this case, no.
Okay.
You're just you only.
Okay. I guess it depends the amount of money.
Depends the amount of money. Okay. Anyways, interesting response. So let's get into today's topic. So today's topic is going to be about white monkeys.
White monkeys. Oh, is it
Are you interested about white monkeys? Oh, no, we're not going to talk about the animal white monkeys.
I get
people.
it, though. I get it. It's
Let's watch a quick video and
Okay.
you'll get more what I mean.
In exchange for money and some freebies, foreigners pose for pictures at random company parties, sign fake deals with Chinese bosses they don't even know, and model for products they don't even use. All because they're white.
Hello, everybody. I am the engineer of Neo Dentech.
He is not. Just like this guy who is probably not from England. These fake stories go so far that some white monkeys even confess they were paid to pretend as a British investor, an Italian luxury bag designer, or
pretty
even
bizarre.
a fake Obama representative.
They gave me some fake business
This
cards.
can't be real.
They
This
said
is
I
so
was
weird.
With
We're going to go into some
Washington,
deep
DC,
rabbit hole here.
American Chinese Chamber of Commerce or something.
And some people literally rent white people to just sit in front of a house because their presence would make it look high-end and drive up their price.
You can be a doctor, you can be an actor, you can be a fake.
Yes,
Fake doctor.
everything is fake.
Yeah.
We just show up to.
This is unbelievable.
white face.
So,
Okay.
isn't that interesting? Yeah, basically, what in the hell are we talking about here? So, what I meant by white monkeys is basically what the video kind of, summarized is these paid foreigners who act or pose for marketing or promotion for different companies, real estate, or even schools, mainly in China. So a lot of Chinese companies, would come to someone like you and they'll say, hey, would you want to bring your pretty face, and pose with our product or speak about our product, even though you know nothing about it, a zero, just to give a certain look. So yeah,
It's interesting. I mean, I've definitely never heard of this. It's
a bizarre kind of job, huh?
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
We're about to get into something interesting today.
very interesting and very bizarre kind of world that we don't see here, and kind of question, all of it. Is this
Yeah.
all right, and should it be done? So yeah, basically they're usually white, but other races can also work. Black or Indian or brown people also can. But what was interesting, I was watching a video on this, and like someone was asking the lady, like, oh, okay, I know the white people, if we hire them, they're a bit more expensive. Do we have other ones that are a bit cheaper? And she was like, yeah, you could get black or Indians for cheaper. I
That's
was
not
like,
nice. That's
Yeah.
racist and
that's pretty,
yeah.
yeah. So there's definitely some issues here. Some people would just say, oh, you're just a model or whatever, but what is the intention? What are they trying to do, these companies over
Yeah.
there?
Well, yeah, I guess maybe using, I don't know, like a certain person to display the product could give the product a certain value, like,
That's basically it.
yeah, it's already, you could see the injustice where they're saying that brown people or black people, they're paying them less to do the same job, but that's not fair, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sort of like a discrimination.
It's
against them.
discrimination.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's like this undertone, racist undertone there. Well, it's pretty blatant. I'd
It's
say.
pretty blatant. Yeah. It's not really an undertone. It's like right in your face, right?
It's like, oh, they're cheaper.
well, not
Why?
even just that. Just the fact that they're hiring a certain like race. Like white person. Like, let's hire a white person to do this job. Like that's racist, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, it's like the white privilege, as they speak of, extends way beyond your own country. You can
Yeah.
have that sort of privilege even over there. So yeah, these sort of jobs, they require no skill, no actual knowledge, or fluency in Mandarin. Like I give you the example where you would pose with a CEO at some sort of event. You just need to nod and not even know the language.
Ridiculous.
Which is pretty crazy. You just pose, smile, and make them look international. That's what I always heard. International.
Okay.
It makes us look legit, like other people, foreigners, think highly of us. So let's say a company would hire you to act as their engineer, and you're white, and people watching the company will be like, wow, okay, they got like a German engineer or something like that. That's cool.
Okay, I see the purpose, but I still don't see I don't know. I see why they're doing it, but I still don't think it's
ethics.
a good idea. It's just,
it's bizarre.
It's
The
bizarre.
ethics are questionable,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That's what we're gonna kind of delve into. But yeah, definitely pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, I've never heard about this. This
never
is
heard-
interesting for me.
I hadn't either. I mean, it's kind of like this past year I heard about this, and then I was like, you know what? I want to delve into it in a podcast episode.
All right, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
So, if we can basically differentiate the type of white monkey jobs that exist, we could have like these 3 different tiers. Okay, so you have like the low tier jobs, which are modeling, which pay between $50 to $100 per day. And then you have a mid tier, which is acting jobs, and those pay $100 to $500 a day. And then you have the top tier, the crème de la crème, which are the high paid actors / models, which can run up to $1,000 or more per day. So we're gonna go into each one and see some examples. And
Earlier when you asked me like what would be my price range to be actually doing a job like this, I was thinking like way more than that.
oh, way more.
I was thinking like 100,000 or something. You'd have to pay me.
What?
You'd have to pay me crazy amounts just to stand there, do nothing, No, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It just
Why?
sounded weird. Like
It sounded bizarre,
it
right?
sounded
like, where am
bizarre
I
just
going?
from the beginning. Like it's just weird. Like just stand there and pretend that you're someone. You know, it just sounds so for the purpose of like this product that I don't really care about, right?
In a different country,
And a different country,
like a foreign country,
Exactly.
where it's like, am I gonna get kidnapped here, or
yeah, exactly.
what's gonna happen?
It sounds like they're gonna use you for the meeting with the CEO. Then
I'm not gonna pay.
they're gonna kidnap you, throw you in the dungeon or something. It just sounds so weird.
It sounds weird and shady, and yeah, I don't know how people accept these jobs, but I mean, apparently it can pay good. Like it's legit. Like they don't try to like scam you. Apparently some do, so you still have to be careful. I mean, you're in China, you don't know the language, and like you
Yeah.
don't know what the hell the
but
intentions
also
are.
think about it. You're also putting your face with like associated to a product that might not be a good product. So you're like endorsing something that you might not be wanting to endorse. So
yeah.
your face is going to be attached to that forever, right? So for example,
course.
let's say that product and that let's say that company overall ends up being a really shady company and they do bad stuff, then you're going to be tied to that forever.
But what's funny is that a lot of times they are, and they try to legitimize their companies with
Yeah.
these white faces, you know,
Exactly, to-
foreign faces.
Yeah, I see.
You see, so that's basically the tactic, because there is also this kind of even in China, there's a presumption that made in China, you know, the quality is not always there. You know, they try to cut
Yeah, that
corners,
stigma.
use, you know, like bad materials or whatever. Everyone kind of knows, oh, if it's made in China, then it's cheap. So then they try to get, you know, foreigners to make it look like, no, it isn't cheap, and trust us, right?
Yeah,
So that's the whole
understand.
game they're playing. It's all marketing, basically. But anyway, so let's get into the first tier, so which is the low tier modeling jobs. So basically, yeah. So this job just implies that you pose with Chinese products, real estate, or at schools. Yeah, the real estate one was really interesting. Like as you see in one of these pictures here, they've got like these, you know, English, like apparently English men who are dressed in that red uniform, like that you
Yeah.
see in front of the palaces in London or whatever. I forgot what they're called, like their official name. Well, like the big black,
Yeah.
tall hats. Yeah. So they bring these sort of people around these new condo developments, and then you have like these potential buyers looking at these people and they're like, wow, this looks international. This looks, you know, legit and prestigious. I want to live here. And a lot of times it's all fake. It's just
It is.
it's just to sell it, basically. Or even at schools, which I found a bit outrageous, where they bring, you know, white people again to pretend like they're going to be the teachers there, the English teachers. And a lot of times they end up not being the teachers. They're just there to say, oh, I'm going to be your teacher. Look, I'm from the US, but it's all fake.
Wow. Okay.
You know. So yeah, it's to give legitimacy to potential buyers. You stand during promotional events to give a look of sophistication. So yeah, these jobs, you know, they might seem, you know, like whatever. I'm just standing there looking pretty. But again, like you said, you're endorsing something that might not always be good, or
Legitimate, or
yeah,
it could be so many different things.
mislead consumers, and they get mad, and you were there posing,
Yeah.
selling the product.
Even if other employees end up being involved in like some type of scandal, I mean, you're still tied to them, you know.
Oh, you know what? You're talking about that. I think, like when I was doing the research, I heard like someone who did one of these jobs, and he was a bodyguard for some, you know, CEO, acting as a bodyguard, like a white bodyguard, and then he had to quit the job because apparently he had some dubious crimes, and he was saying, you know, he did some dubious crimes with all his 7 like assistants or something like that, or who were
Whoa,
women.
Okay.
Which we kind of understand what kind of things might have
we
happened.
understand, yeah.
So you see, anyways, so
Yeah.
that's an example.
Kind of proves my point.
Exactly. So yeah, let's say, would you do this sort of job or no? You know, thinking about it now,
Like, just no. I still keep my stats.
You're still
like, it's
keeping
just
your stats.
yeah. Maybe like if I'm really looking for for a quick buck and I'm screwed. I have no idea. I don't know what would tempt me to want to do this.
I don't know either. I mean, unless you're in China, you know, I don't think you would fly from Canada to go there to do this sort of job because a lot of times these people are there for whatever reasons. They might be living or teaching or, you know, doing other business stuff.
Yeah.
And they're offered these jobs. And they're like, okay, I guess, you know, it's innocent. I'm just standing there looking pretty and,
Yeah.
you know, so they don't think about it, but yeah. And also, do you see in one of these images, like these white men who are standing there naked, basically, with just some underwear, and they're holding like a bag or something and
looking pretty.
Yeah, looking pretty, but it's pretty objectifying, yeah?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like I said, it's right in your face that it's super like discriminating, and it's like a little bit, it's out there, let's say.
And do you kind of get the white monkey, you know, name?
Yeah, I understood it from the beginning. Like, remember when I said like, oh, I get it. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I understood.
I was trying to trick you, like to think like we were gonna talk about actual white monkeys.
No, I got the metaphor.
You got the metaphor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I was kind of thinking about? It like I wasn't thinking exactly in this regard, but I was thinking like, you know, like the black sheep kind of. That's kind of what it reminded me. You never heard about that?
Like someone's the black sheep.
Yeah, kind of like the odd man standing out.
Okay.
That's kind of what this made me think of.
Okay, you kind of did a comparison of that term with this one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they basically call it a white monkey job because you're like a monkey in a cage and just there to entertain.
Okay.
And a lot of times they're white, so.
Yeah.
But the technical term would be rent a foreigner. That's what
rent a foreigner. Oh my god. Let's use that as our title.
Rent a foreigner for $100.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. Might get some clicks, who knows? But do we really want to do that for clicks?
Nah.
Yeah,
not a good
We're more
thing.
classy than that, people. So yeah. Anyway, so these might be a little more innocent, whatever type of jobs, but let's go into the second tier, which are the mid-tier jobs, and these are the acting stuff, which pay between 100, 500 or more, depending. So these ones, you act in Chinese commercials, or you pretend to be like some CEO or engineer for a company. You basically engage in propaganda for a Chinese company, or even for China itself. Like one of these examples here, like you saw the guy was saying, you know, hello, I'm the engineer of Neo Dentech. So basically, I prepared some clips so we can watch, and you're gonna see.
Let's see.
It's pretty freaking. So this one was like a 5-minute video. I kind of did like a little montage just to show you.
But Neo Dentech isn't that one of those vaccine companies?
No, that's BioNTech.
Ah, okay. I was wondering. I was like, that sounds familiar.
No. This is some company who makes some electronic apparatus. I have actually no clue what they're selling. I've watched this video like 3-4 times already, and I don't understand what.
Yeah, probably because the guy that's explaining what they're selling doesn't know what he's selling.
Yeah, but you'll see like the way he's talking, the voiceover, and it's just so bizarre. It's
I'm
like
sure it
we're
is.
like in a Black Mirror episode.
Hello, everybody. I am the engineer of Neo Dentech. We focus on how to make our SMT machines operate more efficiently, assemble more
my God.
accurately, and
He didn't
use
even
more
sync the
stably
audio
all
properly.
time. But today, I'm glad to announce to all of you, yes, we have done it. Neo Den 4 not only can bring convenience via efficient automatic rails, ingenious heads designing, and high-definition CCD moving camera also help to ensure mounting accuracy, which absolutely is beyond your imagination. The mounting head is designed in a suspended, fully symmetric, and high degree of coupling
I'm in
way.
disbelief.
Yeah, now you can imagine how greatly the efficiency is improved. Neo Den 4 absolutely gives you an unprecedented using experience.
So
An unprecedented using experience.
not.
Definitely not.
Just fake people. So yeah, basically, I heard that, yeah, so if your voice is not good enough, they'll have someone dub over it. So as you see here, they had someone dub over it, but it creates such a dissonance. It's like, it does not match his face. He looks like, some 40-year-old, white dude with like this deep ass voice, They're very efficient. And the lip sync as well was like off
it was
completely.
So off.
Just give weird vibes. Like, honestly, who is gonna take this as legit? At least have the audio sync properly, and and the English as well. I think because a lot of it is like translated, so sometimes it's like, what?
It doesn't sound super like fluid.
Like you see, it was like a Google Translate English instead of like an actual English speaking.
It sounded like a robot speaking about robots.
Yes, you're right. Super efficient, yeah.
Our robots are the best type of robots, and I was created in this lab too.
And that's said by a robot.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was a pretty strange one, which I found pretty funny.
Tell me about it. This is weird.
This is pretty bizarre, and the next one is even weirder. So let's watch this.
I don't know how we could top that.
From England, European General Agent of the Ginger Boss. I am already the
Ginger Boss.
Man, now they're discriminating with gingers too. That's not nice.
It has passed the European certification and the certification of the Global BRC Agency.
This is so awkward.
Again.
Certification with very high gold content.
But he's not even speaking in the video.
Well, his mouth is like barely moving. It's just like, and then the English voice again doesn't seem like it's his voice.
It's like he says one word,
and then there's like 10 words.
There's 10 words that come out.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, And again, the English is like horrendous. What was he saying? I'm from Europe, the Grenell agent of Ginger Boss. What? I have no clue what he's saying. No, apparently from what I understand, he's like the employee or like the assistant of some boss, and he's buying this product from this Chinese company, and he's saying, I really love this product. These people really make good stuff. They pass all the certifications. That's what I was able to understand from all this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was about food basically, but again, it's kind of tough to say. Food, especially, I heard in China, there's a lot of issues that the quality of food is really not that great. They put a lot of chemicals and stuff, and people like can't always trust the safety of food. So when you have this, okay, now I can trust it.
Yeah.
Now I can eat safely without worry.
There's a foreigner that accepts the quality of this food, therefore I could eat it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But the thing is that apparently outside of like the big metropolitan like cities, like let's say Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, places that are already international, like other provinces, a lot of Chinese people aren't very, aware of the outside world. Or no, I'm not like saying, they don't know anything, but when they see a foreigner, they're like, oh, it's like gives off a certain look basically. And
yeah, that's a lot of countries though. I mean,
true.
Yeah, some more than others, I would say. Like you said, like countries like China, Russia, all those communist countries that, even probably North Korea,
that are more
controlling. Yeah, when they see a foreigner, for sure they're kind of surprised because
it's exotic, it's different, it's.
Yeah, well, they don't get to see that every day just because of how controlling the government is, and
Yeah, we don't realize, in our Western cultures mostly how, we are exposed to so much, and that's good. You see different cultures, you see different people, so foreigner doesn't look like strange or like wow or ooh, I'm excited by it or
Well, I mean. Exactly, we're surrounded by different cultures all the time, especially here in Montreal. We're from Montreal, and we're we have so many different cultures, and you know, we take in a lot of immigrants, and you know, a lot of our friends that are from different, you know, cultures. We're from different cultures,
Yeah,
right?
we're not even. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the population here is French, but a lot of us speak English. A lot of us are from different backgrounds, different religions, and that's okay. But when you go to another country that has, you know, most of the same type of population, the same, you know, demographic, then when they see someone else, they start kind of, you know, freaking out and
Yeah,
get
because
excited.
they're primarily native Chinese people.
Yeah.
And the outside world seems very, you know, different and cool and, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because even when I went to Italy, for example, like they knew I was a foreigner, you know, just by how I looked, just by the way, you know, I expressed myself and my broken Italian I would use.
Oh, yeah, they can tell. Yeah. I imagine, like, if I went to, like, Armenia, you know, my native place, and people would be like, oh, this guy's, you know,
Yeah,
from outside of here.
exactly. Just because, yeah, the way we express ourselves and different reasons, but yeah.
So, yeah, so we can kind of, you know, start to understand why this sort of thing would sell to those people, why they would get, you know, tricked in a way into believing.
Yeah, that's
all
the
of
right
this.
word, tricked.
Yeah.
Because it's a lie. I mean,
It is, yeah.
it's such a, it's almost like an evil tactic that they're using, you know, like using not evil, I don't think that's the right word, more like
It's faking it, basically.
yeah.
It's pretending like they're legitimate and
yeah, exactly.
trying to look rich and, you know.
Yeah, it's a
International.
marketing scheme that works for them probably, but
Which
yeah,
might not
looks
work
could be
here.
looks could be deceiving, you know, like
That's
it comes back to like you can't always judge a book by its cover, you know. Not everything is as glamorous as it is or as it seems, kind of thing.
Yeah, just because you have a couple of white folks posing with your product doesn't mean they use it or they even like it or they even know what the hell it is.
Yeah, so you got to take everything with a grain of salt at the end of the day, you know.
and decide for yourself, basically. Yeah. All right, so now let's look at the third video that I prepared.
But
here.
hold on, let me just bring something up as well.
Sure.
It kind of makes like almost like a connection with, you know how like some people want to sell like a product. Let's say like one that comes to mind often is like a beauty product. Let's say like makeup, and then they use like a famous person, right? It's almost the same thing. They're using that person just because they look pretty or they're, you know, and just to sell the product.
It's in the same vein, yeah.
It's different, but it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's like, it's not... I mean, I guess it can also be based a bit on your race.
Yeah.
Like, I guess depending, some companies might want, you know, a white female or whatever, or, you know, this company wants a black man. Okay. But it is in the same kind of...
Yeah. And just think about this. Let's say we applied this, but then instead of using any random, you know, bloke on the street, any random guy like you and me, let's say we would have that person would have been Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they would have used him to sell the product. Imagine how much they have.
Yeah, I've seen a video of Dwayne like talking about, you know, Chinese.
But think about how much that probably sold.
Oh, I bet a lot. I mean,
exactly.
Freaking hell, he's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Exactly. So fame and status also ties into that.
Yeah, and I guess just getting a regular white foreigner or different foreigner for some other companies is just like the lower paid version.
Exactly. The bare minimum.
Bare minimum of like showing status.
Because imagine how much they had to pay Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to do that.
Yeah, it's not $150 a day.
Yeah, it's
thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
You know, yeah. Like you said, 150,000 probably.
If you want to see Evan on that, you know how much to pay me.
Are you The Rock though?
I am.
Oh shit.
In another life.
That's all right. Dream big. So yeah, so it's kind of a status symbol, you know. It's
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll question it more later on. So this third example now for this acting job. This is where I kind of, learned about white monkey jobs. It was looking at this former YouTuber. Have you ever heard of him? Bart Baker.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Like 2010s, around those times, until like 2015, 16.
I think it's the first time you mentioned someone on the podcast and like you refer to someone and I know who it is.
Wow, really?
Because every time you bring someone up, I have no idea who it is.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I guess you know some YouTubers then.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bart Baker was like a former YouTuber. He used to do like a lot of parody videos for music videos, like really like out there kind of stuff. And he, took a swift change in career, and he went into doing, these white monkey sort of jobs. And there's a little segment here that I put from Vice News, and they were like interviewing him and kind of showing what he's doing, so you could see again how weird it is, and this type of job that you can.
So that's his vice, right? I was like, as soon as you said vice, I was like, I need to make that joke.
Oh Jesus!
I had to do it.
Should have knew it was coming. But yeah, I guess it is his vice, and let's have a look.
Do you love China? 我爱中国。是的，是的，是的。Why do you think I got Huawei? 我爱华为。你好。
Oh yeah, I definitely recognize this guy.
Yeah, it was pretty popular back in the day.
Okay, so
yeah, he's like live streaming.
I see you tomorrow, or maybe I'll
TikTok
see
or
you tonight.
something.
I don't know. I'll see you in the morning. Bye.
Wow.
Jesus.
Bart was a classic YouTube success story.
There's a mean YouTube guy who does sort everything about.
This is one of his parodies, I guess, right?
Music videos, imitating pop stars like Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber. He'd get tens of millions of hits on his most popular videos. But a couple years ago, YouTube started dropping channels that weren't family-friendly from their preferred program in order to attract advertisers. Suddenly, big-name YouTubers like Bart saw the revenue drop to a fraction of what it used to be.
I mean, it used to be fine on YouTube. Actually,
That's
like
creepy.
the more edgy it was, the better. Fast forward a year and a half, maybe, and I'm like super miserable. Going to a therapist.
Because of YouTube.
Yeah. You don't know how many YouTubers are depressed because of YouTube.
So yeah, I just put this little clip there. I'm not gonna put the whole thing. But yeah, basically his reasoning here is that YouTube started demonetizing his videos because they were more edgier, and he was getting paid less or nothing. And if you watch some of his videos, they were pretty big production, big crew, big sets, like almost like an actual music video, really.
High quality value.
Yeah, a lot of like production value, and it costs a lot of money. And when YouTube demonetized him, he started, looking at different ways. And I guess, it was in a dark time, or, was depressed, like he said. And a Chinese media company reached out to him and said, hey, would you be down to work for us? We'll just send you some Chinese songs, and you just need to sing for us, translate it and sing it and live stream. And it's like a work every day. He's basically like a performer online doing live streams and saying, a few Chinese words, or basically translating and singing that. And yeah, it's very bizarre, like what he does, like how he just switched like that. Apparently he also moved to China.
Yeah, it must take a big, a big problem in your own personal life to have to resort to something like that. I mean, like I was discussing earlier, they're using his clout and popularity to make their songs more appealing to the audience and stuff, just because some popular YouTuber is singing them, right? That's the whole goal.
Well, but apparently they're trying to not get people's attention on the stuff he did in the past, because they don't, since it's a bit edgy, and also the media company has to be careful of what he says about China as well. That's the other thing that I didn't mention, is that, a lot of these jobs, the jobs that you do, you can't say anything bad about China as well. You have to be, positive. China is the best. China makes the best stuff, or whatever it is.
Right.
And, in this Vice interview, he was being a bit, more open about it. But I saw another video where he was sitting with his manager of that Chinese company, and they were reacting to the Vice video. And you know the part where he was like saying, "Oh Jesus,"
Yeah.
you saw like he was done with it,
Right.
And then his manager was like, "Wait, what did you say, Jesus?" And he's like, "Oh no, this Vice interview, they took it out of context. Like I said Jesus because I was just kind of tired. It was at the end of the day." Okay, come on.
Yeah,
dude,
we all know that you're super fed up of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, even in the interview, it was like you have to be like energy level 10 on 10 every day on these live streams. Like if you see him, the way he acts, he's like, "Oh my God," he starts singing,
Right.
"China is the best." Like, very like energetic, and he says it's pretty draining.
I could imagine. I mean, pretending to be someone you're not is always draining.
Yeah, you're acting and you might not do something you really like. You're like singing these Chinese songs. You don't understand what, half of it, what it means.
Exactly.
You're just being like a marionette, I'll do this and sing this and,
Yeah.
And it was funny, like when Vice was interviewing his manager is younger than him.
Yeah.
Like the Chinese media company, the manager is like 26, he's like 35. It's like all these like young kids, kind of like this startup kind of looking company. And what was he saying? The interviewer was saying, "Oh, you got like this popular, YouTuber. How was that?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's popular, but he's kind of ugly." And we're like, "What? What do you mean he's ugly? Look at you. He wasn't that pretty."
Wow, that's not a nice thing to say about your employees.
Yeah, and the interviewer was like, "Oh, what if your audiences find out what he did in the past? His like edgy music videos?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it's not our problem." And he's speaking in Mandarin to the interviewer, but you have like the subtitles. He's saying, "Oh, it's okay. That's not our problem. That's his personal problem." And then the interviewer like switches to Mandarin, and he's like, "What do you mean it's not your problem? It is your problem. He's part of your company, And the interviewer was like, "Oh, wait a minute,
Better
Chinese."
change what I said. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, a bizarre world, and
yeah, tell me about it.
people are like hoping that he's okay and that he'll figure out a way to be happy and not
Get rid of this vice.
not be at the mercy of some 26-year-old some Chinese
Controlling media
calling
Chinese
him ugly
media company.
yeah
Insane.
very weird. But yeah, so those are some examples of the mid-tier jobs. Let's try to go to the next one. Okay. So the top tier high-paid actors slash models job. So this one is, again, you're an actor or model, but here you become the face of a brand, or you act like the CEO of a company. Like it's a pretty like high position. You're taking on like a big role here, and it could pay thousands of dollars. There's one example here that I found, and it's called this company that's called Daruchi. Okay, it was this Chinese company that did these like cheap sort of mattresses, in the early 2000s. But then mid 2000s came, and they decided to rebrand themselves completely. And apparently they found this man. I think he's Italian, and he was
with a name like Daruchi. It sounds Italian.
No, the company's name actually was Daruchi, not the man.
Sorry.
But I think they're implying that Daruchi is this man.
Okay, well, see, they caught me.
Well, yeah. No, I even thought, I was like, "Oh, is that man Daruchi?"
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Italian. He looks, slick and wise old man. So yeah, they found this man who to this day, nobody knows who he is. They just know that he was maybe some teacher in some province, like to some kids, like an English teacher. And they paid him, I guess a few thousand for a day of like photo shoot. And they plastered his pictures everywhere. Like, even in the States, they had, some shops and his face was there. And basically he was, they said, it came from Italy. It was designed by this man that you see, but everything is made.
That's ridiculous.
In China.
Oh my god! But did the person, you think, consent to being like displayed everywhere?
I imagine they would have told him, yeah, you're gonna be, like the face of our
You're gonna
brand.
be famous.
You're gonna be famous. Well, not really, because nobody knows your name. Like seriously, I couldn't find what his name
Your
was.
face is gonna be famous.
Yeah, you look wise, old white man. That has some sophistication, you know.
Yeah.
And Italy, as we know, you know, it has this kind of legitimacy of the products they make and all that. You're welcome. But you see, even for us, like, you know, in Canada or America, when we think of something that comes from Italy, we're like, oh.
Yeah, we think of this high quality product that, you know, that's usually kind of expensive and costly, and, you know, it's probably like a good, you know, material and
well made.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't, you know, cheap out. So you see, even us, we have these sort of prejudices and
Yeah.
just the
How
same
it
as
is.
yeah. And you know, I guess the Chinese people, it's kind of any foreigner for them is like a
yeah,
high
I see.
status.
Yeah, I see the whole concept, and it's still a little unbelievable to me, but
Still unbelievable. Yeah. So anyway, so let's question these white monkey jobs. I got a couple of questions.
well, I'm gonna
here.
question them. All right.
So could these jobs be considered racist?
Yeah, I think that's one of the first things we said on this podcast.
I guess, you know, the definition of racism is usually more like you're antagonizing a certain race or you're discriminating. Like, I don't know what example, you know, like when we say, oh, you know, black people or whatever, like black people are thieves or whatever, like a really bad, you know,
Yeah.
racist stuff. But here it's like they like us.
They're glamorizing like a race, which is
I guess the objectification
yeah.
of a foreigner could also be like racist because you're kind of like undermining them and
Yeah.
making them look, you know.
But that's the thing. Like here's an example. You might not think that it's racist towards the person on the, let's say, on the face of the brand, but is it discriminating who actually created the product? Think about it.
Is it discriminating for
Chinese people, for example? Why can they put an Asian man?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I was like, yeah, why not Chinese people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're the one that created it. Why are you so embarrassed of putting an Asian person as the face of the product?
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't have an issue where if it was like some pretty model, like Asian, like
Yeah.
Chinese model, let's say.
But why do you have to go
far out
and then pick like these particular races and people that look a certain way to be the face of your brand? That's racist, like kind of indirectly.
Yeah,
you know?
it's an indirect kind of like
subtle way of being, you know, racist.
yeah. And also when they said, yeah, that black or Indians are cheaper to hire is also, that's pretty blatant there.
Yeah, that's right. That's super racist.
That's racism. You know,
that a race should be underpaid. That's like
because of
textbook,
the color.
you know.
Yeah,
like,
that's textbook. Yeah. But the ones for the white people, you're like, well, you know, they're just like models, whatever. But you know.
Yeah, but like I said, there is a certain degree of racism going on there because they're using a race to represent their brand, while other people could have had that job just as well. You know?
Yeah, true. It's like, yeah, why not give to some Chinese people? You know.
Exactly.
So you're like discriminating against them.
It's kind of weird because it's almost like they're discriminating against themselves. That's what I find weird.
Yeah, they're being racist against.
They're like racist against their own culture, or yeah,
which you can be. Yeah,
it's interesting.
If you discriminate against your culture or your race, it's still racism, really.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how you're discriminating, I mean, you're being racist to a certain degree.
Yeah, but. Yeah, besides being racist to your own people here, yeah, I feel like they're kind of being towards these white people as well because they're just saying, yeah, you're only good for your looks. Basically.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know. Could you say that for the, you know, models, like just in Western countries, you know, just any modeling job, you know, or you're only good for your looks? A lot of people might say that too, huh?
Yeah, but I see your point, but at the same time, I don't think we're kind of like discriminating by color. We're going in another direction there,
Well,
I think.
Yeah, I get it. You know, I was trying to see how you'd respond, but yeah, me too. When I compare these two, like, yeah, you have a model at a promotional event in China versus a model for, you know, like a makeup company, let's say. They're hiring you because you're white.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more related to your race, and
Yeah.
whereas there, it's more, you know, just to look that it looks nice. You know, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
But you know what I've always questioned in my head, like, you know, when you go to like these let's say a job interview to be like, I don't know, to be the face of a brand.
Yeah.
Like, what are one of the criterias? You know, like you have to look like you have to have a certain look, and like let's say you get to the interview and they're like, nah, sorry, you don't fit the part. You're not the way we want you to look, you know, and they send you home. It's awkward and weird, you know. I've always had that in my head.
Yeah, okay, I guess, yeah, that is again discriminating.
It is discriminating. And if we could kind of tie that into what you said earlier, I see what you mean. In a sense, it could be discriminating for even just these companies that use people for their body image, where like you're judging someone by how they look, and if they don't look a certain way, then they can't have a certain job, which is discriminating someone in a certain way. You know what I mean?
So I guess, where do we draw the line?
Yeah, exactly. Is that ethical? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even here, like, the ethics are questionable, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because look, there are people might think it's okay, or even some foreigners might be like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, I'm just standing there being pretty. But imagine me as a company, let's say I'm like, I want to get some black people around here so I can make it look exotic, you know. I'm like selling this drink and it comes from the Caribbean, and I want some black people at my event. How would that would be like there would be an outrage. I would get canceled.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. It's such a different mentality.
Here,
I see what you mean. Like, if like this would not work in like the Western world at all. This wouldn't work.
No,
it'd be considered really like, you know, like racist, and
you'd be called out. Imagine we brought Chinese people.
You would be canceled, and that's. But honestly, for a right reason. I mean, it's not like it's not
nice.
ethical. It's not nice. It's just showing, you know, the different races for no reason. Like, I don't like. Why do we have to do that?
Yeah, it's an objectification of a culture and race for
no apparent reason.
Appearance.
Yeah, that's what it is, and
you're not. That's why it's kind of like tricky here. You know, racism is usually where you're saying this race is bad, whereas here they're not saying your race is bad. They're like using you, and it's an indirect.
They're saying our race is bad, but like, I don't know. It's it's so strange.
Yeah, our race is not that great, and we're gonna use your race to make us look pretty.
Yeah. Because you know, you're just pretty.
You're just
nothing
pretty.
Else.
Nothing. Exactly. So it's like this bizarre kind of situation.
It's so bizarre, and oh my god,
this was literally like a Black Mirror episode.
This is a Black Mirror episode, Curiousaholic edition.
Yeah. So yeah. My second question. I mean, yeah, we kind of sort of, you know, answered this throughout, but yeah, I was going to say, why are foreigners, especially white people, seen as prestigious or international? I guess, yeah, like I kind of said before, is because some of these Chinese people in these outer provinces, like outside of like those metropolitan areas, they're not as exposed to the outside, and, you know.
That's what it is.
As soon as you bring a white person, it's like, oh, you know, it's exotic, it's different, it's high status, and...
Yeah, exactly. It's always, I don't know, a lot of white people were always like, you know, associated to like it historically, like associated to money, and they had power. And I think that stigma kind of stuck with people throughout the years.
It's like the idea that Westerners have wealth.
Westerners are wealthy and stuff, but you know, China is one of the richest countries on earth now. You know?
Now, yeah, it has become. But if you kind of look at the history and you would understand how it would influence their mentality is because, you know, like from the 50s to like the 70s, they were under Mao Zedong, I think what was his name? He was like a dictator, basically, the Mao. And a lot of people starved to death. And he had like this, you know, was it socialist? Yeah, like a socialist or communist regime where everyone was equal, everybody could get fed, but basically you got nothing. It was like nothing for everyone, and a lot of people died. And then when they changed it and they put the current government, which is still pretty controlling, but used capitalism to grow, now they started getting rich. But before they were poor, whereas the other countries were getting richer. So I guess they were looking on, you know, to the outside world, and they were like, "Wow, look at them," you know. So
I guess they still have that stigma that they think Westerners are rich and wealthy, but at the same time, like it's not a reason to, you know, objectify people like that.
Yeah. So not the best. Way to employ people. So to kind of wrap this up, so some closing thoughts. These jobs I would say are definitely not for everyone. If you do decide to do, you know, I would say to be careful and to know what you're getting into, to not get used, because there were some stories that people didn't get paid, or I'm not saying kidneys were stolen, but you know, just know what you're getting into. The ethics of it are definitely questionable, and I would honestly say that it shouldn't be done. It's not right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, let's import that here. You know, let's have a company to bring Asian people to stand around and pretend. How would that
ridiculous.
Look?
It's just
You would definitely get canceled. Which I'm not saying, you know, the cancel culture that we have currently is good, because people get outraged over anything and everything.
Yeah.
But I think in this particular case, it's
justifiable. Yeah.
And also what I would say is that maybe, you know, Chinese people, if they can, maybe they should start seeing the truth behind these white faces that are presented to them, and kind of like, you know, I don't want to sound like pretentious to say like to wake up, but I mean like to be more wary of, you know, these people and these products or real estate that are sold to them.
It's a good point. I mean, if everyone would say the truth, I mean, we'd have a better world or in general, right? And that's why we have this podcast. We say the truth.
Try to as much as we can, you know.
Exactly.
But it is still our opinions, right? We're not
we're not
experts or anything, yeah. But so getting educated and seeing what the purpose of all those marketing schemes are, I think is a good way to, I guess, bring an end to this.
Yeah.
Because the only reason, you know, these companies are continuing to use these marketing, you know, tactics is because it sells. And people buy into it.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's what I like about our podcast. I know I'm kind of drawing a tangent, is that we try to give that proper information to kind of, you know, seek out all the bullshit in a sense, because this is, you know, it's just it's right in your face, you know, it's just a lie. And it's good that you brought it up, because I was being lied to by looking at things like that. You know, when we looked at the Ruchi picture, I fell right into the trap, and then, you know, you put me into place. And it's good that we're speaking about that, because it's very subtle. And, you know, like you said, not everyone says the truth, and, you know, maybe, you know, these topics should be explored a little more.
They should. And you know, you need to understand that not only for Chinese companies, but any company out there, their main goal is to make a profit, and they will go to a lot of lengths, maybe to some questionable lengths, to try to sell you the product. So not just Chinese companies, you know, even companies here who might utilize faces or celebrities or whatever it might be, we're always being influenced some way.
Yeah.
And you know,
like we're using like Chinese companies as examples, but like you said, we're guilty on, in America and on the Western side, we're guilty of a lot of these things too, and
in different ways.
In different ways, and they are still subtle, and they're hard to notice.
Yeah, just the fact of using celebrities. Let's say, you see the celebrity using the product, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
they endorse it. They seem to like it.
It reminds me of like, we follow a lot of these fitness like YouTubers and stuff, and one I can't remember who it was, but he was calling out like like these like Mr. Olympia, like Ronnie Coleman, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're selling products and like they're advocating for these products, but the products are not good products, and they're just they're just showing the face. And they're like, people are going to buy it just because, Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger is advocating for the product.
They're legit. They're huge bodybuilders and stars. And wait, that's like reminding me something. Wasn't it for like a supplement to increase your testosterone or something?
It was exactly that.
And who was it? Was it Arnold?
It was Ronnie Coleman.
Oh, Ronnie? Yeah, you're right.
He was advocating a product that obviously is not,
not really tested
or like obviously
it's just a marketing
work. It's a marketing scheme,
mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, and people are just gonna buy it because Ronnie Coleman is sorry Ronnie.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's an example, so Western countries are definitely guilty of it. It might not be racist, but there's still some tricks being used.
Yeah, marketing is a very tricky and subtle, it's almost like it's an art. It's like
it is an art. Yeah, it's an art of like sort of not well, sometimes it could be deception, but like
it is. It's I don't know. I don't want to make.
Well, deception is like saying that you're selling a lie, not necessarily, but it's
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say that like marketing is just about lying, because it's not always that.
No.
We market our podcast, right? We're not lying to you guys.
No.
But at the same time, there is to a certain degree like a certain tactic that you could use to, get more views or more attention.
Yeah, it's tactics of influence and how much you can create this feeling of need in the person to consume or buy your product.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, I think we covered it pretty well, and
yeah, that was a good one.
We did a nice kind of comparison with other countries as well, not just China. And
yeah, for sure. We don't want to use like a certain culture as like a target. That's not the goal. We're just
they're the bad ones, and they just.
Like we said, this type of shit is all over the place in every freaking country, and anywhere you could think of, companies are using some weird tactics to get profit at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just these white monkey jobs are not very nice to the people.
An example of the bigger picture of what's really going on,
or kind of like an extreme example,
or like an extreme
these marketing ploys. So anyways, I think
that was a good one.
Pretty much it. A kind of bizarre world that we delved into.
Yeah, like we always do, right?
That's why we're here. We're curious for it. So thank you guys for watching this episode. You can leave a comment if you're watching our YouTube video. Subscribe. You can watch us on any of your favorite streaming platform. You can follow us as well. We release a new episode every single week, and so we will
try.
We try. We're doing our best. But thank you guys for watching again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.
Adios.
Bye.